Hey y'all, hey. So this is some of the kale, collards, and mustard greens that I harvested out the garden. Of course, I go in with my vinegar and baking soda, wash them. I wash them several times because them little bugs don't be no joke. The little garden dirt too. So I go ahead and I wash them thoroughly. I wash them quite a few times. Go ahead and make sure they're good. And I take my big old cast iron skillet, throw some bacon up in there. You do want to go ahead and fry the bacon crispy because this is just step one. You want the bacon to be crispy for this recipe. So there's our crispy looking bacon. Got our little bits in the bottom. Got that good old bacon fat rendered out. That's what we're looking for, y'all. The bacon fat. And I know bacon fat is not healthy for you, but I'm going to pick my poison. I'd rather find something to make these veggies taste good and palatable till I grow up than other things. So we got some onions, some garlic, some rainbow peppers. I go ahead and chop those up while I'm waiting on the bacon to get hard. Those are all nice and chopped up. And I put them in a bowl in the order that I'm going to use them in the pan. Different things have different cook times depending on the recipe. So like I said, I threw them onions up in there first. Let them sizzle for about 2.5, 3 minutes. Then I come back in. I throw my rainbow peppers up in there. Let them cook for another minute or two. Oh yeah, those peppers are so good, y'all. Like, I love them. And I come back in with the garlic after those get in. Now you can definitely add whatever accompaniments you like. I just happen to love me some onions, garlic, and pepper. So that is what is going in mine. The recipe I watched, they just use onions and peppers. They didn't use any garlic, but hey, everybody got taste buds. So once I get those in there, I let them do their things. Inside the bacon fat, I do not add the greens until it smells like the ancestors came home inside my kitchen. Once everything gets to popping and gets very, very fragrant, it's time to come in with those thoroughly washed mustard greens, collard greens, and kale. When you put them in the pan, they will overcrowd it, but green things start breaking down very quick in heat. So you just slide those around in the pan, make sure they get coated. Once they start wilting down, you move them out the way. You put some more in the pan until the pan cannot take any more. This is a huge cast iron skillet, so I have quite a bit of room in there. So I was adding greens for a while, y'all. And that's just me adding more and more of the greens and kale. Mixing those around, letting them get hit with the steam and the hot grease and wilt it down so I can make more room inside the pan. And I do try to use wood or silicone. I messed up quite a few pans. I learned my lesson. So wood or silicone on most things. I'm just showing the process of mixing it all in, getting them peppers. I try to move around the outsides of the pan, pull everything to the middle, flip it over to make sure everything gets evenly coated and distributed. Then I make another hole, make some more space to add more of the greens in there. Then I come through with the seasonings. As you can see, I'm using garlic salt with parsley. I'm using a chicken bouillon. I used a heaping teaspoon of that. I just covered the top of the pan with the garlic salt lightly. And then I come back through with just a little black pepper, If you ain't sneezing, it ain't season. Y'all know I'll be watching me some cooking shows. And once again, you get everything mixed in around real good. Make sure everything is coated in that good old bacon fat grease. Mix, 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 mix. Stir, 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 stir. And at this point, I could tell y'all my kitchen was smelling so good. It seems like things smell one way, but as soon as you hit it with the seasonings, it's like, ah. So after you get everything mixed in, you want to go ahead and cover it. I do not have a lid for this huge cast iron skillet, so I had to go to Hoodway and use the aluminum foil. Don't judge me, judge your mama. But while we're waiting on that to simmer down for about 35 minutes, I'll go ahead and take 2 cups of cornmeal. I throw half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar in it. I come through with boiling water because it's hot water cornbread, y'all. So I boil my water. So for 2 cups of cornmeal, I use 2 cups of water. I go ahead and mix that around good because I'm looking for a certain consistency. And I do make sure I hit all the corners in that because you do not want to have dry cornmeal sitting in the bottom when everything else is wet. It's just going to be a waste once you start pattying and you run up on some dry cornmeal. We're not doing that. So I make sure I hit all corners, get it mixed in while the water is still nice and hot. Now the dough is a little bit too hot to patty. That's why most people use spoons when they're doing it. But fortunately, I've been cooking for a long time and my hands are tempered. So I was able to go in immediately after I got done mixing it and pattying up the cornbread. Because I put my grease on. The grease was hot and ready and waiting on me. So I did only use half of this to make the hot water cornbread. Can y'all guess what I made with the other half? Any guesses? Any guesses? So, yep, like I said, you can still see the steam coming off of them. But I had to put my phone down and go ahead and get to work. I patted them up, put them in the hot grease. A couple minutes on each side till they're golden brown. And then I just took a little bit of that chicken bouillon, some scallions, and some green onions fresh out the garden. Chopped those up, threw them in there, made my hood hush puppies with the other half of the cornmeal mix. So if you guess hush puppies, you are absolutely right. I call them hood hush puppies because I did not feel like pulling out another pan to deep fry them so they could keep their ball shape. So this is what we get. You get what you get and you don't have a fit. But this is just me chasing the hood hush puppies around the pan because of course I got one hand action going. Of course the nieces went somewhere right when I needed one of them to help me record. And I was too lazy to go get the ring light because the sister was hungry. So we get what we get and we don't have a fit. But yep, this is just me flipping over the hood hush puppies. When I tell y'all these things slap too, oh my God, they really, really did. But word to the wise, I almost burnt the crap out of myself. Do not do it one-handed. Don't be lazy. Go get your ring camera, folks. Or, have somebody in there recording for you because, I got enough burn marks on myself. But, yeah. So, we have our southern fried collard greens. We have hot water cornbread. We have our hood hush puppies. And bon appetit. Oh, and side note, after the greens are done, after you steam them for the 35-40 minutes, you do go back in, chop that bacon up and add it. Bye!